And when we were able to secure the position of Reverend Dr. Matthew Rhodes as the educator, it was one of those moments that I could turn around and say, thank you, God, now I get it. He really has really elevated our program and infused in our students the mission of chaplaincy, and gave the tools to serve at the highest levels. So at this time, I'm proud to introduce Reverend Dr. Matthew Rhodes as our CPE educator, but not just as our educator, but I'm happy to announce that the Association of Clinical Pastoral Education, the ACPE, chose Reverend Dr. Matthew Rhodes as the 2023 Inspiration Award recipient. It's a national award. And it's not hard to figure out why he's the one who won.
Thanks, Rabbi Fox. Now that I've blushed enough for the night, would those of you who are graduating stand up for a second so that we can all clap for you? We'll probably do it a few times. These are the folks we're celebrating tonight. You can stand or sit the rest of the time. And can we also have a hand for those of you family members who have supported these folks through this experience this past year? A colleague of mine who just retired as the director of spiritual care at the Cleveland Clinic said that she would send, I think it was tongue-in-cheek, but she claimed she would send out a letter to all families who had students enrolling in the program saying, warning, this program will change your loved one. I imagine some of you all have seen that. If it's been in good ways, I'll be glad to accept some of the thanks, and otherwise, I had nothing to do with it. So in all seriousness, in my tradition, at the end of the ministry of Jesus, he turned to the disciples and he said, I no longer call you servants, but friends. I no longer call you servants, but friends. And so to paraphrase, I'll say I no longer call you students, but colleagues and friends. And so I don't have a whole lot left to teach you at this point, so instead I'll offer a blessing from perhaps my favorite poet, the Irishman who died a few years ago, John O'Donohue. This is a blessing for a leader. May you have the grace and wisdom to act kindly, learning to distinguish between what is personal and what is not. May you be hospitable to criticism. May you never put yourself at the center of things. May you act not from arrogance, but out of service. May you work on yourself, building up and refining the ways of your mind. May those who work for you know that you see and respect them. May you learn to cultivate that art of presence in order to engage with those who meet you. When someone fails or disappoints you, may the graciousness with which you engage them be their stairway to renewal and refinement. May you treasure the gifts of the mind through reading and creative thinking so that you continue as a servant on the frontier, where the new will draw its enrichment from the old, and you may never become a functionary. May you know the wisdom of deep listening, the healing of wholesome words, the encouragement of the appreciative gaze. the decorum of held dignity, and the springtime edge of that bleak question. May you have a mind that loves frontiers, so that you can evoke the bright fields that lie out beyond the view of the regular eye. May you have good friends to mirror your blind spots. And may leadership be for you a true adventure of growth. So those are John O'Donohue's words, and I'll share a couple of mine before I sit down. So part of your work, you graduates, has been to work with those who are dying, to help them to speak the truth that lives inside of them and to meet them there, to help them as their life draws to a close and as their body moves toward death, to help them to become as well as they can on the inside during that journey in their souls, and to make sure that they do not have to be alone in that experience. To accompany, especially those who have been abandoned, and to help those who have abandoned themselves to come back into themselves. And much more often, your role has been to help people to figure out what they want to do with their experiences of illness as it relates to their spiritual lives, their family lives, and their life's purpose. Seeing one's name slowly rise to the top of the transplant list, seeing that one will get a new heart or kidney or liver, you all have accompanied people through those lonely, dark hours. Rejoiced with them when they receive a transplant, and helped them to reflect on who they wish to become having lived through that experience. As a former student of mine was wont to say with a tongue in her cheek, never let a good illness go to waste. And so it is with patients who have a heart attack and have a wake-up call. Sometimes that new direction that they discover is related to their physical health, while other times it's how one seeks to use this most precious and limited time that one has in this only life that one will ever live. Many times, you graduates were helping people and families to access their spiritual resources and to rely on the strength they find in their faith tradition to face those difficult realities and to do those most difficult things. Other times, your role involved helping someone to hold on to their faith, but to help them to let go of the self-destructive way in which they were holding it. In all of these situations, while you graduates were addressing the particular illness that brought the patient in, even more, you were addressing the spiritual malaise or stuckness that has sometimes accompanied them for decades. To engage in the very risky work of getting between them and that which vexes them with the hope that it just might be liberating for them and their souls. And to help them to relate to themselves, to their loved ones, and to the divine in new ways. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that after reading a blessing for a leader to each of you, is that you all have been practicing quiet leadership all along. You have accompanied some from life to death, but how many more have you led back from death to new life? From exile back home, from self-abandonment back to self. So on your journeys ahead, may you have courage in that quiet work of leadership. And may it flow from your doing that very work in and on yourself. Congratulations.
Hello, everyone. So the men said I can go first. Actually, I told them I'll go first. So poet William Carlos Williams in one of his poems said, "You've made a record on my heart." And so I would say North Shore University Hospital has made a record on my heart. My life has been touched by the lives of so many patients, staff in this institution. The nurses, the doctors, the social workers, environmental staff, service workers, kitchen staff, security, all have been invited. I have been invited into their struggles, their frustrations, and their joy. I've learned about this hospital, about its patients, about its staff, about how we care for each other, the humanity in each other, the frustration that we sometimes feel. I have learned to witness and hold it all. It brings to mind a quote by Reverend Senator Ralph Warnock, and it goes like this. "What I've learned as a pastor," he says, "you can't lead people unless you love the people. You can't love the people unless you know the people. And you can't know the people unless you walk among the people. You cannot serve the people if you cannot see them." And so what clinical pastoral education, CPE, has done for me has allowed me to see people and allow myself to be seen. I've learned to see them in their sadness, in their anger, in their fear, in their strength, and their possibilities. I've learned to stand with them. I've learned to sometimes cry with them. I've learned to sit in silence. I've learned to be an advocate, to get righteously angry with them. I've learned how to hold the polarity as they ask me questions like, "I'm waiting for a heart. You think I'll get a heart? Mine's not working. Can you pray with me to get a heart? What if I don't get this heart? What if I do get the heart? Do you think I deserve it?" Someone has to die for me to get this heart. So much contradictions. I, as a chaplain, gets to sit with them, talk with them, help them find their way through those polarities. And I've been able and been given the pleasure to walk with amazing people. Why and how I learned to do this. My brothers, James Jean, Jeffrey Ridley, Isaac, and our new interns, Christian, Daniel, and Eugene. I had the pleasure of being here since last summer, and so I've seen different groups of people come in, but all the time having this connection, this love for this work. I've had the pleasure to be mentored by some amazing chaplaincy staff. Kayla, you've done amazing things in the ER. Rachel, you are a badass. And Yasir, technology whiz. Thank you for your mentorship. My educator, my brother from another mother, I'm just gonna claim it. Matthew Rose, you have been a beacon of light for us this year. You shine by examples You lead with your heart. You show us your sass, so I give you back mine. You have a strength with you that you allow us to be our true selves. Thank you from the center of my heart. Rabbi Fox, you are a gift to the world, sir. You are the common denominator in all of us. You saw something in us, and you invited us here. And so we are immensely grateful for your leadership, for your strength, and your weakness. You see you running around. Did you see Rabbi Fox? Yeah, he was running on the block. He's late for a meeting. We make fun of you all the time. But it's with love. Thank you for all that you do and all the work that goes behind the scene. We greatly appreciate it. And I'm going to end with my family, and I'm going to put them on the spot. Sharif, my son, my firstborn, my baby girl, Yumna, and my beloved, my heart, my king, my best friend, my rock. This would not be possible without you. You've had lots of sacrifice for this to happen, and I am immensely grateful. Thank you for choosing me to walk your side. Thank you all.
Oh, my name is Jeffrey Ridley, and I am thankful and I am grateful to all of those who have led me to this place, to my team, our team of chaplains and interns that I have worked with and witnessed and learned from as we work together in going into a hospital room of a patient, or seeing a staff member, or seeing a family member of either a patient or staff. And we guide them the best that we can by just suggesting with open-ended questions. Where do you want to be? What do you hope for? Because hope can be very challenging, and it can change on the turn of the dial. I am thankful. I am thankful for the blessings that I have experienced as I began this journey in the chaplaincy residency program a year ago. These blessings have come from many angel unawares, as I refer to them. These angel unawares include all of the clinical staff and support staff. Every staff person that I have encountered has truly been a blessing. Every encounter with a patient, patient's family, hospital staff has been a blessing to me. I will hold these blessings close to my heart for the rest of my life. I have learned so much from our time well spent toward the patient-centered care that is provided from chaplaincy department, working in tandem with the interdisciplinary team, the palliative team, and of each of the units that we provided chaplaincy service with. Chaplains, we must give a heartfelt thanks to our families for the love and support of our spouses, our significant loved ones, our children, our mothers, our fathers, and all of the people that believe in what we are doing as chaplains will hopefully create a better world. One patient, one family, one staff person at a time. By God's grace and mercy, let this be.
Thank you, Rabbi Fox, for seeing my potential and giving me the opportunity to be part of the chaplaincy team. Thank you to the entire palliative team for accepting me as part of the interdisciplinary unit. Thank you, Matt, for a year of in-depth psychoanalytical examination, interpersonal reflection, and analysis. You have given us insight into the inner workings of the human mind and soul that does not present, therefore it goes unnoticed. At times, it is not the function of the chaplain to pat the patient on the back and say everything is okay, but to challenge and confront the patient so he can begin to think in a new direction that possibly can lead him to find solace. You have given us the skills to go with the patient to the darkest of all places, to the most inner secrets and sometimes darkest recesses of their soul, to remove barriers and allow expression so that healing can take place. We have been told stories that patients have held secret for decades. We have witnessed patients either feeling sorry for themselves or questioning God or scared of sins they may have committed or asking, are they okay with God? We have also ministered to family members who are having difficulty, especially in end-of-life situations of loved ones. These are not the easy visits, but these are the visits that we chaplains are prepared for and ready to take on and accept the challenge. Where will this visit lead? Chaplaincy can be emotionally draining and depressing at times, but it can also provide the most rewarding sense of accomplishment by truly making a difference in someone's life by allowing them to find peace and meaning. Thank you.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
I need my preacher's voice here. All right. Hello, everyone. Much better. Thank you. My name is James Jean. Okay. It's funny, a preacher is starting to be speechless. Can't find my words. All right, let's see if I can begin this. My being here has so many I'm sorry, I think I can do this. My journey began in 2020, where I was in the middle of trying to get my MDiv. Doing my master's at a time that I thought it wasn't possible anymore for me to continue my education. And God had opened the door for me to do so. I was already an ordained minister. I could have skipped internship, but someone advised me to take CPE. And while doing that, I was at the bedside of my mom, writing my papers right there. I was being a chaplain to my mom without being what a chaplain was. Getting the war training without having all the literature of it. When I found out what chaplaincy was, and my mom had already passed, and I understood what I was doing for my mom. My mom is no longer with me. She battled breast cancer for about 5 years, but I spent the last 4 weeks in the hospital with her every day. It was a blessing because at times hospitals still didn't want people to be visiting, but somehow they let me in, and I was right there every day. This is a bittersweet moment for me. Right in the midst of this, I started this because of my mom passing, and right in the middle of me getting to be this moment here, my dad had a stroke. So to start this, I was at the bedside of my mom, and to finish this journey at the bedside of my dad. I thank God my dad is still with us now. If traffic permits, they all will be here. So this journey here with me, the acceptance that I find here, I cannot express my gratitude toward the executive of this hospital to making this program, to be going, to be running. I am so grateful for this. Before I thank everyone else, I have to say my experience here has been phenomenal. I'm so honored to journey with the patients, the most vulnerable moment of their lives, asking questions, looking for answers from me, to have the capacity to stand in a room with a patient not knowing if they're gonna make it out of the hospital. To help them find hope where they think there is no hope. What a privilege, what an honor. My mom had told me before she passed, because I was asking, I said, Mommy, is there anything that I can do or I should do? As a Pentecostal minister, a great believer in divine healing, I have prayed for many and they have recovered. I've prayed for my mom. She didn't. Something that I have to live with, to reconcile my faith with. And this is the exact situation I find myself being in the room helping patients to do. I am honored to do this. Not only with the patients, you are enough for the staff had invited me into your world, your struggles. And I like to tell you that I am honored and I don't take this for granted. Thank you for allowing me to be part of your journey. Some of you are here because I'm just honored to have been working with you. And the space you have given me into this team to be a part, making me feel like a valuable member of it. Thank you for that. So as I finish this journey of residency here, I want to thank a remarkable human being by the name of Rabbi Dr. Hillel Fox. From the first night I heard your voice when you called me on the phone to tell me that your interview had went well at night time. I've never seen such a dedicated person. From a plane, I think he was coming from Israel. He came straight to the hospital to call me and let me know, your interview went well. It was already after 9 o'clock at night. Then he said, the next step is to do this, to do that, to sign the paper. My wife standing next to me while I'm on the phone, and I was saying, well, maybe I can come to this. She said, you can come when? What's wrong with now? He's in the office, right? I tell you. And I said, I can come now. He said, really? I said, are you leaving now? I said, I'll be there in half an hour. from Suffolk County all the way to Bayshore. I made it in 30 minutes. Bring my check to sign up all the papers, and I said, it's all up to you now, and I ain't got nothing else to do, because I got to be in there. And you have received me with such grace. And from that night, you have made me see what I could do here, and I could never thank you enough for your support while I was here. Thank you. Bye-bye. My educator, the great Reverend Dr. Rhodes, math to us. You have restored my belief in mentorship. I've said this to you before, and I'm saying it again. My life, I've been such of people taking the title of mentorship, saying they are mentoring me, but at the end I was just being used, misused, and abused. So coming into this program under his leadership, or under his education mentorship, I just was waiting for the time that he's gonna hurt me. That's what I'm used to. He didn't satisfy my expectation. I kind of don't like him for that. Matt has a way of being in our heads as students. We love him, but we will not invite him to our Thanksgiving dinner. Because he's just going to find a way to give us another problem, which he called a better problem. But thank you. Beside your wealth of knowledge that you have installed in us, but to me, it's the transformation that you have allowed me to become who I am today. And all my appreciation that I have from the staff members, 8 Monty, my peoples, PCU, my God, I don't know what else to say. It's all have been because of this man. If you see me do anything right, it's because of him. He has allowed me to become who I am today, and I'm so grateful for that. Thank you, man. I have to thank the associates, chaplain, also the per diems. You have been extraordinary. Kayla, I'm able to move around the ER because you have done the groundwork. So thankful, because the ER is such a different, fast pace, moving, don't have time to many talk, and our job mostly is talking. But you have made it known, you all know who we are, what we do, and they look for us. Thank you for that. Thank you, Rachel. I can't say the word my colleague said. Trying to live up to the title that's behind me there. But you are. You are. Mr. Ghost, that's what I call him. Yasir, our Imam. I can call you brother, and I appreciate that for that privilege to do so. With all your technology savvy, helping us to get through this. When IT is giving us issue, you can do most of it, so that's pretty much. So I was dragging before I thanked my family, but they still not here. They actually, I think, in the parking lot now, trying to find a way to come in here. So they're on the phone listening to me. So I could not have done this without the support of my family. My children, I have a boy, and a girl. You wouldn't want me to call him boy, but so since they are listening, Daddy did it again. That's what I want to tell them. And they had a lot to do with it. And to me, guys, I'm sorry. Ladies, I'm sorry. But to me, the most beautiful woman ever born in this universe, my wife. Her name is Yvette. She has been my biggest cheerleader. I do believe her name should be right next to mine on that certificate, but I don't think Robert FX will allow that, but that's... So I thank them because this contract for the year, it was not only I who signed it, they signed it too. Because they had to endure the sleepless nights, the verbatims. I almost have nightmare by Jelly, all these writings, but it was all through this. But also holding all the pain, all the struggle of patients, even staff. It's been quite a journey. Thank you, colleagues. You guys have given me something that I never had. It has always been me and my wife, me and my children. But now, I can say not only me and my wife, me and my children, but me and my folks. Well, folks, we did it. Thank you.
Such moving remarks from all of our residents. We come to the conferring of the certificates. But before we do this, there was a little bit mentioned that this is the conclusion of our summer intensive CPE unit. We had 2 other units prior to this, and we do want to welcome and acknowledge a couple of our other graduates from previous units. We have with us, we call him Chaz. Now that he's been ordained officially, he's Spirited Ikes. Please rise as we acknowledge you formally as a graduate from our program, as well as Denise Walsh-Horowitz, who just completed the spring unit. She's going to be starting next month our fall unit. I'll ask that a few of you come back up here to assist with the conferring of the diplomas. We call Reverend Matthew Rhodes to please come forward, and the previous representatives, Irene will come up, and Nancy and Dr. Weiss. Call your name to come forward and confer you with your certificate. This is beginning with our residents. We'll have here an opportunity to take a picture with us. And then once you're all finished, we'd like to take one group photo as well. Is someone that can take the pictures? Okay, great. Reverend James G.
I've written many poems in my life. It's the first one I've ever written as a chaplain. I wrote it between visits. In every hand, like a new grown leaf on a windless day, brand new life awaits. And for those who wait, there is time because it will always be, whether or not we are. That is the promise of life, how much we need what does not need us, until the withering leaf on the windiest day meets the light we were given to give. In a web for the weary, hope can be spun. Gentle hands touch when the mind runs amok. Everything else is everything else. The mind can find peace in the weathering storm, lest the storm is our fate, lest the winds are change, lest our efforts make way for the grief that awaits. Our voices are soft when the rooms need silk, because those walls close in on the infinite. A tapestry of words like a woven quilt can hold the hope of air and make the hour new in the blur of borrowed time. Oh, how precious this is. Oh, how precious they are. How precious is pain that belongs to them alone, unwanted and undeserved. Speak the pain aloud. Give us all your words. Let us talk to spirits and send them on their ways. Let us join you in the raging of the waves, the peace of what remains. The journey's always yours. We cannot take that away. We can only give. We can only give. We can only give and live for this. We were made for this. The timing of our stars that brought us to this room, galaxies and fantasies of God's dream to the womb. The Maker made it all. Trust the light within. Oh, I know for some of you the darkness overflows, overwhelms at the helm and at the bow. Can we pray for you? Can I ask the Maker to dwell in this here space? Can we intercede? A wish can be a whisper that roars through space and time. What is prayer if not a holy wish? Solemn supplication and the hearkening of desires. Reckoning lives here, deafening and dressing wounds, wrestling with fears. Babies cry before they smile. Families cry because they've lost the sight of smiles they love to see, the smiles they love to love. Souls ascending smiles and smiles away from homes and hearts and time, no longer mortal, now forever, eternal, dancing with Jesus and Jacob and Mary and Esther and the starry nebulas, smiling with the rings of Saturn, smiling on the moons of moons. Smiles and smiles away from hope and homes and hearts and time, no longer flirting with the adventures of the world. Worries long gone, surrender to the sublime of the divine. No longer in time, no longer, no longer. Then there are those who stay, those who smile with us still. If the reasons were revealed, understood, and unconcealed, there would be no need for faith. Life's a leap into the unknown, and of it we make homes, and of it we make seas, and seas of memories. Some make them alone. We have come to know them all. Every age and stage, gentleness and rage, riding on the cosmic road to surrender as we enter rooms with the blessings of our mentors. If the Spirit gives us utterance, then our words will form a shelter. Take refuge in our gifts, because we were made for this. And when we rest in nebulas and meet adrift the bliss, we'll look at one another